We're now fully into the swing of the 2019 elections, and with 91 registered political parties and of course increased numbers of registered voters, one will expect that the 2019 elections will see a huge surge in political participation. My name is Isabella Akinseye and welcome to Politico Politica.
The Nigeria of the future is for dreamers like me.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
Our local government areas must become special economic zones.
I hope to disrupt the politics of failure.
There will be no sacred cow.
Dissolve all the congresses, dissolve the convention, and start all over again.
Mr. President, my people are under siege.
Leadership is not about the position you hold.
You can't shut down your shop and be chasing criminals.
If you allow criminals, there will be no shop.
Find ways to fix your judiciary.
Transport say aye.
And most importantly, fix the mind of the people.
The party must do what is right.
Nigeria suffered from a state of economic radiculopathy, social sciatica, and political dystopia.
Welcome back to Politico Politica with me, your host, Isabella Akinseye. Now, let's meet our guest. She is an indigene of Lagos Island from Elegbata in Ologbowo area of Lagos Island. She possesses a BA Honours degree in history from the prestigious University of Lagos. She has extensive professional experience in merchant and mortgage banking, rising to the position of Treasury Manager. She left paid employment to set up her private business, Vow Ventures Limited, specializing in chandling, shipping agency, and facility management. She once served as former publicity secretary, Nigeria Customs Licensed Ship Chandlers Association, financial secretary and board of trustee member, Marine Oil Traders Association, among others. She founded Ocean Ambassadors Club, an initiative targeted at attracting young children in secondary schools to the economic potential of the maritime sector. The initiative has been endorsed by the University of Lagos because of its entrepreneurial opportunities. She is seeking to represent Lagos Island Constituency 1 under the People's Democratic Party, PDP. She is Violet Olaitan Williams. Violet, welcome to Politico Politica.
Thank you.
So we'll go straight to our topic of the day, which is political participation. Are you happy with the level of political participation in Nigeria?
Well, yes and no. Yes, because we have many parties. But no, because we don't have adequate representatives there, which does not really show us what politics should be like in Nigeria.
So you're saying there are many political parties, but are you saying that these political parties don't have the weight to actually translate from election promises during the campaigns to actually getting into power?
Precisely, yes. They are just being recycled. Recycling of people, and those that have the wherewithal, they're not really in there yet, to the best of my own assessment of it.
So will you say that political participation is low in Nigeria?
Well, to some extent, yes. Because when you look at what we have now, there are just two parties.
But some will argue that there are 91 registered political parties.
You said it all. Registered. Are they funded? Are they visible? Are they driving their vision? Are they translating it? We need to look at all those indices before you come up to say that there are 91 political parties in Nigeria. Their voices must be heard. We must see their footprints. APC, PDP did not just wake up from slumber. They started and they're still there. So I can only implore them to either align with each other and come up with a better representation.
So you're saying that the quantity in this case does not reflect quality. So are you saying it would be better if there were maybe 4 other opposition parties or 5 other opposition parties as opposed to 90 opposition parties?
Globally, you can see that we don't have this kind of scenario where you have, it's a mess. As far as I'm concerned, they don't have to register all these parties. If you mean well, align, and then you go to the battlefront, then we see who wins. And from there, you now apportion various appointments for people, not just making a mess of 91. Who are their heads there? Not one.
Some will argue that because they've not been able to get the ticket in the major political parties in Nigeria, that's APC and PDP, they've had to find alternatives. So they've gone to set up their own political parties. Others will say because they don't believe in the political ideologies of these main political parties. So how will those people find representation when they might be, in quote and unquote, political nobodies? They're not from a family that's known for politics. So what chance do those kind of people have in the major political parties?
Atiku never had a family in politics, but he's vying for the president. Buhari never had a family, and he's the president today. Yar'Adua, late Yar'Adua, never had a family, but he became the president. So likewise, President Goodluck Jonathan. I just believe it's a matter of you forming a columbrum where you can carve your niche. It's all about service, if you ask me. If you want to go, okay, fine. You didn't clinch the ticket as the president or the senator. Why don't you add your value into the system? You necessarily don't have to be the president before your footprints are seen. There are some people that are entrepreneurs now. They are not presidents, but we hear their names all over. Look at Linda Ikeji. She's doing her bit. You are doing your bit. So what I am saying now is, if you mean well as a true Nigerian to help a Nigerian, fall in line and carve your niche. Let it be known about you. Because when you leave out of annoyance, you are going to start all over. And starting all over is not easy. So my advice to all the breakaways is that let them come back. Let us salvage this economy together so that we can have the desired next level for Nigerians.
So we've been looking at the candidates, people getting involved in politics, putting themselves up for public office. But what about the office of the citizen? How can people who are not seeking elective offices still engage with the politics and participate?
Yes, there are so many NGOs around that have one thing or the other, and their voices are heard. Then from there they can align with politics. I think that's the best way out, because they will evolve indirectly and they will be involved in the process by making their own contribution, by speaking up, by knowing that, like the civil rights, their voices are heard all over. So I think people like that too, with time, will be known for what they stand for.
Are you encouraged by the numbers released by INEC when it comes to people who have registered to vote? Because we've seen an increase.
I am so disappointed in INEC. They are not the true representation of what they're supposed to be. What INEC released is in contrast with what is on ground. How can you tell me a polling unit that has just markets have 1,450 where there are no houses there? How do you now quantify that with the living inhabitants? Even in the market, this market people, they're not up to 1,000. So where did they get these astronomical figures from? INEC is a letdown, really.
But didn't they release the voters register? There was a period for a week you could go and verify, you could transfer, you could correct your name. So surely they've been being transparent, some will argue.
No. There is no transparency in INEC. Yeah, recently, I still took some people to INEC office complaining about the PVC, complaining about the transfer, and they keep telling stories. There are so many things against INEC, and they know it. And we're all waiting. There is going to be battle for survival at INEC this time around. It will be like normal business for them because we're all wisened up and we know how they do it.
What about the demographic of the youth and women when it comes to political participation? What are your views on that?
If you look at my poster, I wrote Ijaobiri in Yoruba because I've been a grassroots person and I know that it is we women that we go out to mobilize. We call with the youths, we're always together. But when it comes to addressing issues, giving positions, giving meritocracy to whatever the youths and the women have contributed, we're not adequately compensated. So I'm saying that this is a voice for the women. We have to fight it out. During Jonathan's regime, the 35% really worked well. But this dispensation, it's been not appreciated for women and the youths. To crown it all, the youths are being neglected. In this constituency, there are no federal projects. There are no inroads to job opportunities. There are no inroads to entrepreneurs for the youths. So what are we saying? The only thing they have is the national union. That is why you see them killing themselves. You see graduates there. Now, NURTW is not supposed to be for fighting. They're supposed to be an organized body where you can get not necessarily the driving, maybe the administration of the drivers on the road, just like you have abroad. But in Nigeria, in Lagos State, it's an abysmal failure.
And finally, what can be put in place? What can we do to really raise the levels of political participation across board?
Education. Education sums it up. Because what you don't have, you can't give. Unless you are educated, unless you are exposed. That is only when you can have a higher level, a higher understanding of what politics is all about.
Thank you, Violet, for your contributions on our topic of the day. What are your thoughts when it comes to political participation? Would love to hear from you. Tweet at PP with Isabella and use the hashtag Politico Politica. And on Facebook and Instagram, the handle to follow is the name of the show, Politico Politica. We'll be back after this quick break. Join us again.